Hey there, welcome to the channel. This is Bronx Brothers Motorcycles and my name is Richie. On today's video, I'm going to show you my latest acquisition. A new steed to the stable. For those of you who are new here, I own a few bikes. So let me show you around real quick. And more than anything, I want you guys to kind of guess right in the comments before I show it, so there'll be a timestamp. What bike do you think I got? What's the new bike? So let me show you around. In no particular order. So up there we have a 1980 CX500 Custom. It's a Honda. Next is my 2005 Harley Davidson Softail Deluxe converted to a Vikla. I have a few videos on the channel of this bike. Very popular videos. It explains the build and it explains what this style is. This is the best looking bike I own, according to people. So everybody loves this bike. Next, and pardon my mess here, this is a working man's garage. So it's a 1978 Honda Hawk. This is my very first motorcycle that I purchased in 1979 from my brother Davis. Those of you that watch my videos know my brother rides with me a lot. He's always in my videos. And I bought this bike from him. Now, this is not my original bike. I bought this bike probably 7 years ago here locally in Virginia. Next is my 1955 BMW R50. This is the oldest bike I own. This is a 500cc and it's a classic. It has original paint, original everything. So this is my classic bike. And the coolest thing on this bike is the key. Let me show you that. This is the key. Put it in. So once you put it in, it's ready to go. You just put the key in place and then you kick start it. And the Kickstarter is, it kicks sideways. There it is there. So you face the side of the bike and you just kick down. Now you want to turn your headlight on, you turn this that way. And that's how that operates. Back then, many of you probably know, people my age, you didn't need to run with a headlight. That actually came out in the 70s, where headlights became mandatory to be on from factory. Next is my 1992 Kawasaki ZX11. I've owned this bike since 2004, so I've owned it for 21 years. This was a show bike. All those trophies up there, 7 in all, are for this bike entering shows. So 21 years ago, it was a hot ticket. People still love this bike. Next, let's go to my FXR. And I'm gonna have to put a picture because it's kind of here in the corner. So I'll show you some pictures of this bike. My 1994 FXR. And I recently did a lot of work. And right now it has a bad rear wheel bearing. And I'm going to change that out, and I'm going to upgrade the swing arm, which is not any good in my opinion. It's one of the, it's the Achilles heel of the bike. It's real cheap. I'm going to be installing a new beefed up swing arm. Next, and I'm going to give you a hint here, okay? So this is my 2003 BMW R1150 GS. And again, I'll show you some other videos of this bike other than it in this garage because it is very cramped in here. The hint is this bike is now for sale. I've done a lot of work to that bike. It looked nothing like that. And this bike actually, I took it to the Mid-Atlantic BDR out in the Blue Ridge Mountains, and it performed flawlessly. It's a great adventure bike. It has a Garmin Nuvi GPS. It has USB-C charger ports. It has plenty of RAM balls. It has a lot of GSA upgrades. The bill, the protector, the larger windscreen with the frame. It has hand warmers. Bunch of stuff on this bike. Aluminum wheels, spoked wheels. People really like that bike as well. I pull up on that bike and everybody kind of gawks at it. Nice looking bike. This here is my favorite touring machine. If I had to sell all my motorcycles, I would probably keep this one. This is a 2009 Harley Davidson Electroglide Classic. Now this bike has so many upgrades. It is just, yeah, it's at another level. It has a built engine. It has a 107, T-man pistons, T-man heads, push rods, lifters, S&S cam plate, S&S oil pump, fueling, hydraulic, cam chain tensioners, and it has a T-man cams. This bike pumps out 120 horsepower and 121 foot-pounds of torque. It is done up. It has everything. Everything possible. And I got a video coming out because I did do a few upgrades for this coming summer. I just did the upgrades and I want to show you that. So that'll be in an upcoming video, the different upgrades that I did for this bike. Right now she's a little bit dirty, but there she is. Now, just so you get an idea, these 4 bikes here, the Softail, the Electroglide, the GS, and the FXR are the bikes that I have registered and I ride regularly. Okay, so the bike that I just picked up is a favorite bike of mine. It's the newest motorcycle I currently own. It's a 2015. I would classify it in the 1200 cc bracket. I rode one. I rode one for a week in California. If you ever watch my California playlist, we went out there for a week, rented bikes, and I rented the exact same bike, but 100 cc's smaller is the one that I rented. So what is your best guess? Dun, 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 dun. Let's show you the bike. Let me give you a quick breakdown of the bike. It is a 2015 KTM 1190 Adventure R, 10,800 miles, Rottweiler Stage 3 airbox with extra filters, aftermarket oversized foot pegs, bark busters, storm handguards, higher front end fender kit. Comes with a extra front rim and a set of tires. Rocks, 3-inch risers, Rottweiler mirrors, Hepco and Becker Explorer hard bags, big money, mechanical grip, cruise control, rumbucks, crash bars, and skid plate. Aftermarket exhaust, Akrapovic, Baja Design auxiliary lights, and that is it for the aftermarket add-ons. Now the bike also came with a bunch of goodies. Now it came with this set of hard saddlebags, panniers, whatever you want to call them. Pretty easy to open. Comes with all the bracketry, the rack, everything I need. The key, not too big. I like that, though the rack makes them stick out more. Here's the rack. It came with some extra tires. This whole bin here is full of parts. It came with 2 additional windscreens. It came with all the original parts, including the muffler. Let's see if we could take a look in here. The front fender, some extra Rottweiler filters. It has the Rottweiler filter system on it, which apparently is a problem on these bikes. It also came with this as a top case. Came with the original tools, all the nuts and bolts needed. Those are all the tools, which I'm going to be buying a new bag for. I'll buy some type of roll bag for it. It came with all the paperwork. So that's what they used as a top case for that bike. It came with the original paperwork for the bike. Basically everything that the bike came with. Tires are in good condition. It has 10,885 miles. It sounds killer. Let's hear it. Now, how do I fit on it? This is a tall bike. I'm on my tippy toes or flat-footed to one side. But like I said, I rode this bike in California and I kind of got used to that, so it's not a problem. I'm 5'10". This bike is good for somebody who's 6'2". They would be flat-footed on it. And we have the suspension pretty much bottomed out. But let me show you. I am literally on my toes. If you think the curiosity didn't get the best of me and I didn't put it in sport mode already and take it for a rip, I did. I have it on street mode. That is sufficient. This bike is very quick. It's sport bike quick. It's 150 horsepower. It does the 1/4 mile in 10 seconds. Top speed is 145 miles per hour. This is a fast bike. This is my fastest bike. This sport bike here, and we're talking many years difference, but this sport bike is an 1100 and it has 145 horsepower. This has 150, just to give you an idea. This does have a higher top speed. What the top speed, I believe it's 180. I had it up to, on a racetrack, to 175. That's the fastest I have ever been in my whole life. I don't care to visit that speed again. My point is, this bike is very fast. Adventure-wise, which I plan on doing some riding at the Mid-Atlantic BDR over in the Blue Ridge Mountains, which for me, it's basically 3.5 hours away, 4 hours to actually make it to dirt. 3.5 hours is to get to the other side, and 4 hours is to be on dirt. So I plan on doing that hopefully this summer or fall. I do have a buddy who has an adventure bike who's also chomping at the bits to get out there and do some dirt riding. So I think I have the perfect machine. This is sport bike fast. It does everything that I want out of a bike. You know, comparing it to my BMW GS, the thing with this bike is that this bike is reliable. So this bike will live on for 100 years if properly cared for. That's what BMWs are known for. Those engines, you can't kill them. If you do, they're easy to fix. This I don't know so much about. I just know they're fast and the suspension on them is excellent. It's a great riding machine. It's very tall. The seat height is 35. So I have a 30, my pants, I wear a 30-inch inseam. So that gives you an idea. I'm a little bit short on the inseam, but I manage. Without the saddlebags, a lot easier to handle the weight. The fuel tank on this bike sits low, so the center of gravity is lower. It's not up here. This is where the air box is, the top of the engine. The fuel is actually lower down. These bikes are excellent. All you have to do is go on YouTube, do a search for KTM 1190 Adventure R test, and you'll see guys ripping these bikes. They're excellent. So a few cons on this bike I've heard is that the heat is pretty drastic right here. There's actually aluminum under the seat as heat deflector. So they say in the summertime it cooks your thighs, and they say the seat actually gets warm as well. When I rode it in California, it was very cool weather. In Los Angeles was the hottest temperature, and I never felt like it was cooking me. But I understand it's a different world in the summertime here in Virginia. So I am not looking forward to finding out what that's like, but doing highway miles, I don't think I'll hate it that much. The screen is adjustable. You can move it up and down. They gave me two other ones. They gave me a bigger one and a medium one. So I have three sizes. What am I looking to do as far as upgrades? I do want to put, I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with Chiggy or CarPuRide. They have a CarPlay / GPS 7-inch screen that you can mount right here, and it gives you the vitals, it gives you your speed, it gives you off-road maps, on-road maps. It works with your phone, but if you're going off-road, you download the map to it. A lot of benefits to that. At the moment, it's the hot ticket for bikes like these, CarPuRide or Chiggy. There's a lot of reviews on both those items. I'm trying to figure out which is the best one. So that's going to be my upgrade. Hand warmers, considering that, the one I rented in California had hand warmers. And when we got to Los Angeles, my hands were burning up and I had no idea why. And then I figured out it had hand warmers. It felt good when we were riding from San Francisco to Los Angeles, but once I got to Los Angeles and it was hot, that was a different story. It has an aftermarket fender because this comes with a, what I call a hugger fender from factory. But supposedly if you get into some mud, it's gonna get packed, and people like this look better. I'm on the fence. As you can see, my BMW has both. My BMW has the hugger as well as what they call the duckbill. They do sell a riser for the stock fender where it comes up so that it doesn't get caked with mud, because there have been occasions where people are going through such heavy mud that they have to stop and take the fender off because it's all packed in and the bike isn't rolling the way it should. So that's one of the cures. It has the Bark Buster hand guards. It has top quality parts. Baja Design running lights, which are very bright. It has a high beam on it. There's a bunch of stuff. So that's probably another thing that I'll be doing, is running a Cam Smart so that I can run those lights off of the regular switches. It ties everything in. If you're not familiar with that, go to a bike thing. And that guy, he's all about hooking these bikes up. He works especially on BMWs, but he is the cam smart guy. He knows all about it and he explains it in detail very well. The seat I like, it has kind of this Alcantara type seat in the front and this seat in the back, which I don't know what to call this, but you can tell it's durable. The handlebars with the risers. Well, people, that is the end of my video. I hope that you like my new bike. Well, if you haven't yet subscribed, maybe you should consider doing so if you like this kind of content. As you can see, I have a variety of motorcycles, and I try to keep a steady flow of videos of all my different bikes. I do a lot of ride videos, I do touring videos, I do gear review, I do parts review, parts installation, I do maintenance. Everything and anything that has to do with motorcycles is what this channel is all about. So, I've said it before and I'll say it again. We're not brand specific here. Yes, I'm a little bit heavy on the Harley side, but as you can see, I have a variety of bikes and I just love motorcycles. It doesn't matter to me what brand they are. Anyhow, if you haven't given this video a like, I really appreciate it. So why don't you go ahead and tell me in the comments, if you were allowed to pick any bike, what bike would you be picking tomorrow? Let's get some dialogue going. Anyway, I have a bunch of videos planned and I have some already that I'm working on. So I'll be putting those out here shortly. If you're new here, I put out about a video a week at a minimum, sometimes two. With all that being said, I'm gonna do some riding. You all take care. Watch out with the crazy people on the roads, and I will catch you on the next one. Adios.